I have so been looking forward to talking to David Blair, the author of Dragons in the Clouds. And when I tell you all, it was such an effort. I mean, technology didn't want to act right. And you all know, you've listened to Articulation Radio before, so you already know all of the Goddess Stage interviews with each of the people that I've spoken with have all worked out perfectly well without a hitch. But this one with David Blair, people, this one with David Blair, oh, the technology was crazy. So let me be sure I even have him here. David Blair, are you here on the line?
Yes, I am. I'm on the line. Thank you so much for calling and welcoming me here.
Thank you for being patient with the technological difficulties that we were having here today on Articulation Radio. You're such a patient man. You would have to be in order to write on the level that you've written. And people, if you have not already gone and checked it out, go and check out Dragons in the Clouds. Of course, there is the link to it on my post that I put to advertise this interview, as well as, of course, you can always go directly to Amazon.com and pick up the book Dragons in the Clouds by David Blair. And I'm sure it's available other places too, right? Not just Amazon?
Yes, it is. It's at over 100 outlets, websites. It's at bookstores. I am going to be doing a lot of signings in the LA area, Los Angeles area. So I assume the physical hard copy is available as well.
And so, and it sounds like it's available worldwide, that people pretty much can walk into a mom and pop shop, even in Timbuktu, and buy a copy if they want, at least place an order for it, right?
Right, exactly. Yes, I do have a website, www.Dragons in the Clouds. It's a website developed out of India.
Is that .com?
Yes, .com. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay,
it's based out of India. I just wanted to say that because it's the pricing is in India currency, so that may
Yes, and people do realize that, as he has pointed out, that when you do go to dragonsintheclouds.com, the prices that you see for his book, you have various books, right, or is it just this one book?
I do have other stories finished, but this is the first one I have published, yes.
Okay. And so, and what is the retail price in American currency in U.S. dollars?
For the paperback, it's $15.99, and Kindle ebook, it is $4.99.
All right.
U.S. dollars.
Now, okay. And you had mentioned that you have a slew of events already scheduled there to take place in the L.A. area. Tell us about one that you have upcoming, your most recent upcoming one.
Well, the one will be at a Knott's Berry Farm. They have a shop in there that has different items depending on the season. But they have a wonderful dragon display that they're going to be putting my book in the middle of it.
Oh, beautiful. And, of course, people you already know. And what is that street that it's on? Definitely get out to Knott's Berry Farms. And what day and time do they need to get there for your event?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that has not been established yet. We're working on that now. I'm working with the publisher. All of these dates have not been confirmed. The publisher will be working on that. I'm sorry, I do not have that. I do not have that information yet, but it will be put up on my site.
Yes, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one. People are eager to have a chance to know where they can come out and meet the author, have you autograph copies of their book, of your book that they've purchased, and the story, people, to kind of give you an idea. Of course, when you go and you call up Dragons in the Clouds by David Blair, whether it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whomever, you'll be able to see the cover is beautiful, and you can tell from that you're going to be taken on an adventure. And from what I gather from the story, everything, I can imagine this took a while because everything, while, there are naturally, some familiar references, but this is so original. I love some of the things, and I'm not going to give away some of the details, maybe just one or two of the things that I love, the way you did a twist. And I'll say it this way so that way it's still kind of cryptic without me giving away the book. I like the way you spun the elements, and I like the way you played on past literary references that have historical inferences into them. And so, yeah, I like the way you did that, and you created a whole, not only one whole new world, but a few completely different worlds. And of course, slews of characters, lots of action, lots of objects. How long did it take you to write this?
To be honest with you, it was a gift given to me from above, because I did write it rather fast. I had been developing. I was in the creative time of my life, and I had just finished a story called Dragons in the Clouds. And Puff the Magic Dragon was always a favorite of mine. And so I wanted to tackle that idea, that story. And as I was working on creating a story for it, I read in the Variety that Universal Studios had picked up the idea for Puff the Magic Dragon. So they bought the rights to it. So I was left with a great motivation to write a dragon story, but nowhere to go. So I was hunting around for ideas, and I saw this, believe it or not, a little pewter statue of a dragon holding a crystal ball in a store. And I was just like looking at it, and I promise you, I swear to you, out of nowhere, the whole story just came to me.
I believe you.
This dragon was sitting on top of the clouds, and a statue dragon was sitting on top of the clouds holding a crystal ball. And it just popped into my head, dragons in the clouds. And the idea of that they had to be weightless to escape extermination from a ruling king was and to make their voices, their roars sound like thunder, and their fire is lightning.
The lightning, yes.
I mean, who doesn't wonder about that every day, even from childhood to adulthood? Lightning and thunder is always just so magical, and it just grabs your attention, and you just stare, and when it's right above you and it's cracking, the thunder is so loud it chases you indoors. I just wanted to capture that feeling with the dragons, with dragons and the thought. Like I've pitched it to kids, wondering how they take the concept, and right away it just captures their imagination. They actually believe it, that dragons are blowing fire, that lightning is dragons blowing fire. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful spin on it, and of course, as we, and the other thing, of course, I still don't need you to tell me how long it took you. I would say from the time you put pen to paper to the moment you were like, it's done, it's finished.
To be honest with you, it's never finished. It's never. I mean, I did finish it. It's out in print. It's been published. It's finished. Technically it's finished. But if I had my chance, I would get back into it and add to it or take away from it. It's really funny when you're the creator.
Yeah, it would be additional episodes, additional volumes of it. It can
right.
Be, but no, it's perfect as is. A lot of times, and not only writers, and I give this advice frequently to people who I assist with publishing through bepublished.org, as well as people that I help with business, period. I always tell them that, a lot of times we're trying to make something be what we want it to be instead of allowing it to be what it's meant to be. And I like using the analogy of children. We all have hopes of, what a child would be like and personalities, and we teach children certain things to assure that, hey, they have certain things in order. But, hey, ultimately it's still going to be its own thing, because any creation truly is living. And so, yeah, you know when it's, well, you know, just like with this, you knew when it was time to turn it over. You knew. So for people who are trying to say, hey, you know, I would love to create something like this, let them know, how long did it take you from, and you did say it was a quick process. So how long was the writing? Because I know for me,
okay,
there are some
well,
people who've done novels in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, some it takes 8 years. You know, so it's
right,
a broad range.
right. The initial concept of of dragons living in the clouds, being weightless, given the spell weightlessness. That was automatic. I really have to say that.
Yeah.
I brought that the Purish statue I mentioned in the store, and that's when it first gave me the original idea. The original, hey, I got something, right? I got it.
Right.
Before I made it home.
What year was that you saw the statue in the store?
I don't want to, well, to be honest with you, it was 20 years ago.
Okay. Well, then perfect.
It was, that's when I was working with a writer, and we were working on other things, and I was really creative. But see, what happened was that, okay, so I bought the statue. Before I made it home that night, within the hour, I had the whole treatment. It's called a treatment. You develop a story as a treatment, and then you elaborate on the treatment. And a treatment is like a 20-page outline of your story. And so then, after you create your treatment, you take the treatment sentence by sentence, and you elaborate.
Oh, yes, right. And so, of course, the answer to the question, because, yeah, of course, you know, we have tight time, so we have to move forward. So it was a process of about 20 years from start to completion. And I would imagine that during that time, you know, naturally, as you were explaining, you know, it was different parts that were being developed, but all from day one. You embraced that immediate idea that you had, and you immediately started moving forward. And a lot of people feel like, oh, well, you know, I can't do it. I got this going on. I got that going on. But you are a living example to let them know, no, even with other things going on, as long as you consistently devote the time that you need to your creative project, it's going to be completed. And you will be able to celebrate it being released. And I would imagine that reception has been pretty good for the project. It's a beautiful work. Tell me about some of the feedback that you've received so far.
I've been receiving a lot of nothing but praise on the story.
Yes.
You know, there are critiques. You know, there are critics, but everyone has an opinion, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I have been. Yeah, it's. I expect. You know, I keep at it, and I promise you, it will be made into a movie. Just the right person needs to. Just the right person needs to see it. That's all.
Exactly. Yes, and you've already gone through and you've taken it step by step to where at any given moment, have you already gone through and started devising the screenplay version of it, scripting it out that way, or is that going to be one of the things that you'll be working on next once someone shows interest?
I was taught and trained in screenwriting format,
okay.
And I would to break it down. That is how I wrote the story. Dragons in the Clouds wasn't originally a screenplay.
Yeah, and when you mentioned treatment, that was instantly where I went was, okay, you know, I could tell that, you know, he's from the production end, you know, on the broadcast side, you know. So,
right.
Yeah, because, of course, and most people, when they write books, of course, don't start with a treatment. That's usually something that's for TV shows, things like that. You know, and I myself have, you know, written some of everything. And, you know, but yes, you have to be sure to stay at it because I can totally see this as a movie. I will be one who will enjoy going to see the movie. I am one who definitely will be enjoying soon holding a copy of your book in my hand. And people, I encourage you all, go out and get a copy of David Blair's Dragon.